Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Turffontein meeting. It's good to have Daryl Marie with me. Darren Burrow's not on the show today, but we'll get some info and talk about the Turffontein stand side track. We really appreciate everybody watching through the Skype system, and we look forward to this Turffontein meeting. Well, let's start with the first. It goes at about 12:15, where one Miss Christmas's favourite, priced up at 22 to 10. This is a work riders race, so that you guys are aware. 2 Spring of Alexa is 5 to 2, and number 5 3 Bells 33 to 10. But it is bipod time, Daryl, so we need to question you, interrogate you as to how we get through the first leg of the bipod. Are you happy to get away with Miss Christmas, or are we going wider?
No, we're going wider, Clyde. I want to get through this first leg. You know, she's been a very disappointing filly. She obviously holds Ideal Heart on the Chateau Futura run, but Ideal Heart was making a return after a rest on that occasion. Way Stables in cracking form. Tom and Kume takes a ride. She's got a possibility of reversing that form with Miss Christmas. My top pick is going to be number 2, Spring of Elixir. Last time out, she did disappoint. That was in open company. She now takes on the fillies and mares. Her work rider, Siyabonga Nkumbuzi, he has won a race recently, Clyde, and that was on Tree Ferry. So he's riding with a lot of confidence, got the 1 draw, should have every chance. So I've just gone 3 horses in the opening leg of the bipod.
Okay. Let's have a look at those numbers now and take a look at Daryl's bipod. This is what he's going first leg 1, 2 and 4. Banker 6 in the next leg. Then he's going 1, 3, 8 and 9. Then 3, 7 and 8. By 4 and 7. By 1 and 3. That's a 144 rand bipod. It starts now. Race number 1 at Turffontein goes at 12:15. Well, we got that odds-on favourite running in the second. This is a maiden class over 1,600 metres, and who's been in better form than Alec Laird? Royal Guide runs here. Number 6 is 11 to 20. Daryl looks very, very hard to beat. I watched that last start. Green in running. Thought I was going to go on and win, actually, but then just started running around in the closing stages.
Yes, Clyde, I love the improvements he showed from run 1 to run 2. He obviously appreciated being stepped up in trip, and he looks to take all the beating. Horses that have won, that finished behind him, Indian Ocean, she went to KZN and she scored emphatically on that occasion. Fully Loaded, who was a good, possibly 8 or 9 lengths behind Royal Guard, is franked at form 2. I'll be shocked to see him get beaten. Archimedes is an obvious exacta proposition, and Kambulu could be better than his later starts. He just showed no interest whatsoever. He was actually overdoing it at the back of the field, but he appears to be very stubborn at this stage of his racing career, Clyde. Yeah, so a banker in the PA Royal Guard, number 6.
Okay, Royal Guard, hard to beat. Let's go. Banker 6 in. Darren Burrows has got a PA worked out in this case. He's going almost straight line. So Royal Guide, Banker 6, by Banker 1, Magic Prince in the next leg, by Banker the 7, Duina, then Banker the 2 in the following leg, Eye of the Prophet, Banker the 3, Wind Water, he's going for that, then 3 and 5 in the next leg, he fancies Water Honey and Cold Hard Stare, and the last leg he's going 1, 2 and 7, and those are Queen of Gaul, the 2, Samoa, and the 7, Tis Magic. So for Darren Burrows, he wants to spend 150 rand working out that particular perm. It's only a 6 rand perm every time you take it. So Daryl Marie's worked one as well. He's gone also Banker 6 in the first leg, as I'm sure all of you are going to be doing. Banker Royal Guide by 1 and 3, by 3, 7, 8, by 4 and 7, by 1 and 3, by 1 and 5, and the last leg he makes the most competitive with all of 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 and 11, and Daryl spending 288 rand. On to race number 3 now. Let's have a look at what we're going to do here. It's time to have a look at the Pick 6. It's a maiden class field. They'll run them up the straight over 1160 metres. And Mike de Kock and Kabela Matsanyani team up 16 to 10. Daryl, I see there's a first timer in here from Sean Terry's stable called Turbo Power. Keegan de Mello's been booked to ride that horse, which is quite an interesting booking. I'm not sure if you've heard anything. I see priced up 4 to 1 second favourite at the moment. Remember, we're doing this on Wednesday morning.
Yes, Clyde, there is a comment in the front of the computer form with regards to his chances. Number 8, Turbo Power, may need further. But the form on offer here, Clyde, is not that strong. So the booking of Keegan de Mello could read into some insight that he does have ability. He's dam won 5 races between the distances of 1400 and 1600. So let's see. I wouldn't be shocked to see him making a winning debut, even if he's unfancied, because, like I say, the form on offer here is moderate. Magic Prince, I think he'll enjoy the underfoot conditions. The Sting will be out still on Thursday. He's consistently close up. He's got the experience, he's got the pace, he's got the draw, because he's drawn towards the outside up the turffontein straight. But his form lines aren't really strong. I know there's been 2 winners, Azuke and Dungeons. I don't think that was a strong field whatsoever. Baron Poitz's run over here, number 3, Saka Gold, also not the strongest form on offer. His most recent start up the straight was that 4th behind Just Right. We saw that form line being franked yesterday with William Iron Arm winning from there. This horse is super fit, Clyde. And he will give Magic Prince a run for his money. I know he's well exposed, but in my opinion, there won't be much separating the two of them. With regards to number 9, this is a first-timer owned by Hollywood Bets, and their comment is, if he doesn't need the experience, he's got a place chance. The son of Canford Cliffs. Dam won 3 races between 1,000 and 1,200. So watch the betting market with regards to number 9. Another one I wouldn't be surprised to see him making a winning debut, yeah.
All right. Interesting Michael as your first timer as well. So watch the market there. Currently priced up on the Wednesday, the 9 horse at 4-1. So Darren Burrows has picked 6. He's bankering 1 year, Magic Prince. As you heard from Darryl, the form line's been franked to the extent that Green Scepter and Dungeons have come to win from that particular form line. So he's bankering that horse, Magic Prince here. Then he's going 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8 by 1, 2, 3, 7 by 1 and 3 by field, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 12. So you can see from Darren's perspective, he's not too keen on the card to the extent that there's much uncertainty about it, barring what he hopes to get through in the first leg. And let's hope that he does do that. We're on to race number 4. Gino favourite, Stewie Pettigrew and Diego de Gavea team up 22-10. The 7 horse, the 1 to beat. Number 8, Francine, second choice. 4-1, first timer. There from the Azzy stable. Darryl, any comment on this first timer from the Azzy stable that you're aware of?
Nothing in the front of the computer form, Clyde. Now we all remember her dam, don't we? Franny, she was top class. All I can say is watch the betting, Clyde. That would be the best I can advise the viewers on. Duenna, I thought she was doing her best work late over the 1,000 meters. No doubt she's going to enjoy the extra furlong, 160 meters. Relatively inexperienced, but a lot of scope for improvement. The first 2 had experience on their side, Clyde, but they weren't bringing the strongest form into that race. What was that? Chrome Tourmaline, and there was a runner trained by Mr. Roy Magna. What was it? An XPE, Glitterfox. So you have to believe that she's got more improvement to come. Now, number 3, Simply Magic. She's well exposed. She improved. Well, her penultimate start when she returned from a layoff was one of her better efforts to date. That form line has certainly held up with a few winners from there. But last time out, second run after rest, she was basically eased out the race. She wasn't striding out, and I'm sure the Sting will still be out of the ground on Thursday out at Turffontein. So she's having her peak run. If Duenna doesn't build on her debut efforts, I think Simply Magic could be there to trouble her. So everything, in my opinion, hinges on how strongly fancied number 8 is over here, Francine.
Okay, well, that was, we'll notice that in the market and see what happens with Francine, who's currently 4-1 second choice. Duenna favourite, 7 at 22-10, and the 3 Simply Magic. You heard Daryl make reference to the form lines worked out really well, because Silver Tudor came to win, so did Pour Some Sugar on Me, so that form line strong. Here's Daryl's jackpot, 3, 7, 8 in this leg. Let's put those horses by second leg 4 and 7, by 1 and 3, by 1 and 5. So he's looking for hopefully a straightforward jackpot, and he says let's spend 24 Rand a time. Time to have a look at race 5 now, and in this event we can get a second jackpot on. Darren Burrows has worked something out for us here, but I'll talk to Daryl first about the race. It's a Pinnacle Stakes over the mile, and it's all about weights, and Daryl can give us an explanation more as to who's best in, etc. And it's an interesting one, because 2 Eye of the Prophet tops the boards at 5-2 from what has got to be the most informed stable right now in Paul Matchett. 7 Wafif is 5-2 joints. 1 Safe Passage is back at 33-10, and number 5 Team Gold is trading at 5-1. Then you can get about 8-1 that horse 3 Shango, 10-1 the 4 Out of the Darkness, and 6 Cirillo is 14-1. Appears to be quite a competitive race, Daryl.
Yes, Clyde. Usually in these races, such as the Pinnacle Stakes, you get something that's really best weighted, and you can narrow your selections down. But yeah, there's 7 horses teaming up or lining up, and there's only a kilogram separating the best weighted to the worst weighted. So every horse lining up over here is weighted to give an honest showing. Now, Safe Passage, you can't go into this race confident with his return effort. He was well beaten. One will have to say that he needs another run or 2 under his belt to feature. Eye of the Prophet has just come off a hard campaign. Obviously the Guineas, the Classic and the Derby. I don't know if Mr. Matchett has kept him on the boil, but he doesn't form part of my selections. Shango, possibly better over further, although he's done extremely well over the mile. I think returning from a rest, not really in his camp. I think Wafif, now that he's been gelded, we certainly haven't seen the best of him in his return effort. He was doing things far too hard in the early stages. He still did extremely well to finish that race off. Last time out, Clyde, he beat Turpitz, who went to KZN and won very convincingly. Other winners from that form line, indirect winners, are Meridius, Global Impact, Home of the Brave, and yeah, I think that's it. So with 52 kilograms to shoulder, I'm going to tip him as the horse to beat. Out of the Darkness, I think he's way better than his last start. In his penultimate start, he's actually 4 kilograms better off with the Wafif. He comes out slow, but in a small field, he shouldn't be too far back turning for home. So I'm going to make him the immediate danger. So for me, 7 from 4.
Okay, Wafif. So 52 on the back. The form has worked out well. You heard what Daryl had to say about that, where Turpitz came out and won. And Darren Burrows, in his case, says let's go 1, 2, 3, 7. He's worked out his second jackpot. That's what he would prefer to include in this particular event. So I'll repeat that, 1, 2, 3, and 7 from Darren Burrows' side. Then he's going 1 and 3 in the second leg of the jackpot. And that's Quantum Theory and Windwater. He says those 2. I have heard about number 8, Mrs. Browning, so maybe put that into the play. Then Field, and the last leg go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 12 from Darren's side. That's the last jackpot at Turffontein on Thursday. Race number 6 is a graduation plate. It's over 1160 metres, and on the Wednesday, they had number 1, Quantum Theory, top of the boards at 2-1. 3, Windwater is 7-2. 4, Clever Green is 4-1. And number 8, Mrs. Browning is at 6-1. They bet 10-1 and better about the others. We'll chat about the race with Daryl Marie and see what he likes in this event. Let's start with Quantum Theory. Give us your take on Quantum Theory, because we know that he's good on his day.
Clyde, this is a high-class individual. Very, very talented, well above average. I just don't know his well-being. Obviously, last time out, things went wrong for him. Subsequently been gelded. In his penultimate start, if he just reproduces that effort, Clyde, I think he'll take a power beating. I mean, he gave William Robertson a big scare. He was returning from a 3.5-month layoff. And we've seen William Robertson come out and run second in the computer form sprint. So I have no doubt on his best form, he'll take a power beating. Just his well-being, his draw, does put some doubt in my mind, but I do believe he is the best horse in the race. Now, there's a lot of talk for Mrs. Browning. I personally would have liked to see over 1400, even a mile. In my opinion, I think she stays, she's better over further, but you know, she's also very talented, and she's got, what has she got? Clyde 53.5 to shoulder. Another one that's drawn towards the worst going. Well, potentially what could be the worst going, but she's more than capable. I think the biggest danger could be Windwater. Now, I don't think you can compare him and Quantum Theory's ability, but one thing we know in his favour, Clyde, is that he's in form, he's very fit, and he's got that outside fence, which is a major factor up the straight at Turffontein. So he's got a lot in his favour. If Quantum Theory was fit and well and 100% coming to the track and drawn towards the outside, I'd make him a 5-star bet. But for those reasons, I do have respect for Windwater. But at the weights, he's certainly, I think he's 7 kilograms out or 7.5 kilograms out with Quantum Theory. So, yeah, Clyde, hopefully we can get a comment from Robbie Sage in the parade ring prior to the race.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. Darren Burrow says 1 Quantum Theory and 3 Windwater, the 2. We told you we heard about 8 Mrs. Browning. The interesting thing about Quantum Theory, of course, is that his victories have been over 1,400 metres, although he has run, you know, a cracker over the 1160. But it'll be an interesting one. Let's see how it all works out, this graduation plate here at the Big T. Now we go on to race number 7. It's a handicap fillies and mares over 1160 metres. On Wednesday morning, the market had 5 Cold Hard Stairs favourite, 18-10, top of the boards. 9 Rosara, 5-1. 3 Water Honey, 15-2. And the 7 Golden Aspen is trading at 10-1. They are betting, well, around 10, 12-1 and better about the others. I'm not so sure Cold Hard. Is that Cold Hard Stair, Daryl, an 18-10 shot?
I think it's actually over. In my opinion, Clyde, she could be overpriced and she could start closer to even money come race time. That's just the way I read it. I thought when she returned from her layoff, you got the call from Mr. Azzy saying they're expecting a big run, and she duly obliged on that occasion. She was never in doubt. She pinged the gates on that occasion, and she was very impressive in that victory. Then, you know, later start, second run after rest, she came out half a length slow and she got shuffled back on the inside track, Clyde. She turned for home out of her ground, and she was rattling home late. I think in another 50 meters, she certainly would have remained unbeaten since returning from that rest. So Keegan DeMello knows her extremely well. She's won up this Turffontein 1160 before. That was on debut. She appears to be on the upgrade. I think she'll take a power of beating. So she's definitely my firm first pick. This number 1, Rockets Red Glare. Now, she can be inconsistent, but Clyde, if this filly settles in running, she's got a serious turn of foot. She's proven it twice over this course and distance in the past. She's drawn on the right side. She just needs to come out and relax in running, and she'll be doing her best work late. So I've backed up the favourite with Rockets Red Glare, but in Cold Hard Stairs camp in a big way over here. So 5 from 1 for me, Clyde.
Will be an interesting race. There is one that I saw last time when I was commentating. What a Honey. Never got a run when Richard Ferree rode it. Couldn't get through, was scrambling for room, got beat a length and a half to Chivana. Just be careful. Just watch that horse, be careful, because I don't know the comparative like for like on form in terms of field lineup, but I can tell you on that last run, What a Honey, if it got through, would have got so much closer. Anyway, Daryl says 1 and 5. That's what we'll focus on for now, and that's what we'll do with one more to go. Eighth and final, we're at the handicap level 70, fillies and mares over 1160 metres back up the straight. And field this on the Wednesday. All 16 at this stage lining up, and then an interesting races because it will be one of the more tougher ones on the day. Where number 4 Nettleton is top of the boards at 7-2. 2 Samoa is 5-1. 3 Time for Charity is trading at 5-1. Number 7 Tiz Magic is 7-1, and then it's 12-1 and better about the others, Daryl. So from what I've seen in terms of the selections from both of you guys, open race.
Clyde, if you're running into the last leg in any exotic, you're hoping to have as many as possible because it is that type of race. Number 1, Queen of Gold, now you can see her ratings come down from a 94 to a 76, so MR drop, class drop, she's got a chance. Samoa, ultra consistent mare, must be a factor of year. I don't know what else to say. Time for Charity, Clyde. She's, I think, 3 kilograms better off with Samoa for a length and a half beating. Rachel takes the ride. Having her peak run, I've put her into the play. And Nettleton, I think she's better than her latest. She got extremely worked up behind the pens. Also, saddle slipped. Could possibly be better up the straight for now. Likely raced. Could improve further, Clyde. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Tiz Magic, very nice run last time out. She actually holds Samoa on that run. So she can confirm that form. And one that I've also thrown into the play is number 11, Rocking the Time Away. Now this filly is much better. Her best form is surprisingly up this straight, so this course and distance. So she'll run an improved race. She's just drawn towards the inside. Needs a little bit of luck in running. Clyde, I can't help in this last race. Yeah, it's a very, very tricky race and the hardest on the card.
Yeah, it's not easy, and it'll be interesting to see how things go in the race. So Daryl's put a whole lot of horses in there. I suppose number 7, Tiz Magic, from a Form 9 perspective, as you say, it's got Samoa held, and Silver, who came out and won again, and so did Silver Clock from that form line come and win. So that's out of the Berengaria form. So perhaps 7 Tiz Magic's the horse to work around. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 11. What Daryl says, there are a number of them in here that certainly have got chances and can win. That's the Thursday meet from Turffontein. Thanks for watching, everybody. Look forward to seeing you over the weekend.